Hey, everybody. Yeah, that's right, man. Welcome back to the Bow Fishing Buzz, episode 89.
Episode 89.
Brought to you by AMS Bow Fishing and Megamouth Bow Fishing.
Absolutely. Sponsored by End Designs, Leatherwork and Embroidery, Efficiency Bow Fishing Lights. Yes, you got the End Designs hat on right now. Hat. Yes. Yeah. Efficiency Lights by Outdoor Innovations USA. I just want to put a little plug in here, Matt, for people. Yeah. There's a lot of podcasts, a lot of outdoor shows and whatnot that their sponsors are simply people who reach out to them. They cut them a check so that the show or the podcast just includes them into the show because they're getting a monetary bonus from these individuals. These sponsors that we have here, even though we only have two of them here, we are not going to have someone sponsor this show that we don't 100% believe in the people and the product behind them. Efficiency Bow Fishing Lights are fantastic. We have them on our boat now. We've been using them, different variations of them. We've talked to Christopher James a couple different times. End Designs has done a ton of work for us. They're just great companies. I just want to get that across to everybody. We're not. These sponsors are people that we 100% believe in, so just wanted to throw that out for all the listeners as well. It's a little bit different with the Bow Fishing Buzz. So
Absolutely. And one thing that I really like about the Efficiency Lights, they're made right here in our home state, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that is cool. That's very really cool. Yep.
That's really neat.
And I'm trying to think. I think the last two Big 20s, 2024 and 2023, the top three placing teams, somewhere in there, the top placing, teams are all using Efficiency Bow Fishing Lights, and that's so cool. I know we always Chris always has us line up to take a picture with all the boats and everything. That's got to be so cool for him, too, to see his product being used.
And, the cool thing about it is Chris, of course, was a bow fisher.
Yep.
And he just wanted to come up with a new light system for bow fishing. So he went to work and he did this.
Yeah, he got it done.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
It
really is. Yeah. And something, too, we see it here from the manufacturing standpoint a lot, too, but Chris is always tweaking something. He's always improving. It's not like he made something. Yeah, he's always looking to ways to improve, and that's 100% the best way to be, going about a business. So very cool from those guys. But Matt, we have a very fun, a very seasonably appropriate podcast today.
We got the alligator skull here on the table here.
Yes, we do. We're going to get into some other stuff here, but you want to just give everybody a little tease of who we're going to be calling up today?
We're going to be calling Grayson Padrick from Central Florida Trophy Hunts a jingle. They've been in the business for over 20 years, hunting alligators down in Florida, and they offer other styles of hunts as well. Okay, which is kind of interesting. We're going to talk about that.
We'll get into that. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I was down there 2022 or somewhere on one of my hunts down there, and we actually took the gators that we harvested on that trip to Central Florida Trophy Hunts.
Oh, okay.
They also have a processing there.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
And they process the alligators.
Oh, wow. That's a one-stop, beautiful way to efficiently go down there and shoot a gator.
And it's so cool because, up here we have deer processing where we take our deer in and get it processed.
It seems like every small town has one.
Yeah. Yep. And down there it was so neat because it was alligator processing.
That is crazy to think that.
And it was really cool because they allowed us to take the cameras into their area where they had employees cutting up the gators, skinning them, deboning them, getting the meat. We got our meat sent back to us from them. So they really have a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. So before we get into that, Matt, we've got a couple other things that we need to touch on here.
Actually, Smitty, I got something here that I wanted to touch on.
Okay, all right.
Want to let everybody know about hunting here and what's visiting your trail cams
Oh, my
here
gosh,
lately.
you guys. This is getting to a point. I didn't know that Matt was going to bring this up, but this is getting ridiculous.
It was kind of funny.
Every year when I put my fleet of trail cameras in the woods, we'll get a camera or two that will get absolutely destroyed by a bear.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just every year one or two things of that happens. And if, a lot of guys say, oh, put it in a bear box or a security box. Okay, that's all good and all. I've done that. They're such a pain to deal with.
You got the antennas and you get your solar.
That's the thing with all these cell cameras now. You can't put a metal casing over that antenna or else it disrupts your cell coverage to being able to send pictures. All right, so if you put it in a box, your antenna's still exposed. Well, that antenna is going to get snapped off like a twig when a bear decides to come and play with your camera. But over the last 2 weeks, we have had more nights and days where my cameras have been destroyed by bears than they haven't been. There's been more bears during the day than there hasn't been as far as how many days have passed. It's ridiculous. I've got licking branches all over the farm, you know. The cubs like to just play with them. It's like their own little swing set. The licking branch will be like, you know, maybe it'll be like nipple height on me. Then I'll get a picture of a cub and it's like dragging it. It's dragging it on the ground. The branch where it's from is bent down like this. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've gotten some really cool pictures, but it's to a point where it's like, okay, this is enough. Yeah. Let's go to your fall range here. I want you guys to get out of here.
One of the really funny pictures that you showed me today was you have kiddie pools out there for water, for the deer to drink water.
Yep.
And laying inside your kiddie pool was 2 cubs.
Yes. Yes, they just sit in there.
Heck yeah.
It's you know, and yesterday was the hottest day of the year up here in Wisconsin. We had like a heat index of like 104 in certain areas. And I'm like, what in the world are these black bears doing out at 3 in the afternoon in the blazing sunlight? Well, they were just taking a little swim in the pool.
Heck yeah.
Think what that pool must smell like.
Oh, my.
Like a wet dog. Freaking every critter that's going to come to that pool is going to be like, oh, you got to get out of here. Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Funny. Every morning we wait for Schmitty to show us and tell us about his bear encounters with his cameras.
That or you guys we'll be out in the shop and all of a sudden you'll hear me in the back. Oh!
Yep.
No!
Don't wreck that one.
No! The worst is when you get pictures, you get a bear 10 yards away. He's looking at the camera. Next picture, he's eye level with it, staring into it. The next picture is a sideways picture of the woods, and then it's like they take them in their mouth and carry them a little bit. It gets a little ridiculous. But yeah, we'll just have to keep trying to figure that situation out. But yeah, this seems like they're all over this year. But
right.
Yeah. So one thing, Matt, we're going to dive into here, something that we always discuss here. I think it's I like it because I think it's interesting. I think a lot of our listeners think it's very interesting. But every year there's bids held for the next year's World's Bow Fishing Tournament.
Right.
We've got a couple bids here. I'm going to go over bid number 1. Matt, you're going to cover bid number 2 here. But bid number 1 for the World's 2025 tournament is in Alabama. August 23rd. It'll be a Big 20 in numbers, open trailer to any state that borders Alabama.
Right. That's kind of cool.
It is. Freshwater only, with an early launch time starting at 5 p.m. and a later arrival time of 10 a.m. That's a total of 17 hours. Yeah. That's a long time to be able to go do your shooting. They also say that there will be fish limits, but they have not listed those as of today. So those are still to come. So Alabama bid number 1.
Bid number 1.
Yeah.
Then we've got bid number 2, Schmitty. Wisconsin.
Ayo, hometown.
June 7th.
Yep.
Big 20 in numbers. Side pots for big fish and wild card fish.
Interesting.
Tournament waters include the Mississippi rivers, pools 11 up to 4.
Yep.
The Winnebago chain, Lake Michigan, Wisconsin River, Castle Rock Lake, Petenwell Lake, and Lake Wisconsin.
That's very cool. All the bigger, bodies of water. That's very cool.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that, Matt? How do you feel about bid number 2 being in Wisconsin?
I'm excited.
Okay.
If they can get it, we got a great group of people that have put the bid in. It's a great team of people that are going to be doing that. And if they do get the bid, I'll be really looking forward to that. And I might just come out of retirement and have to compete in one more.
That would be awesome.
Worlds.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Has it been in Wisconsin before?
Yes.
What year was it in Wisconsin? Do you remember?
That was about 6-7 years ago.
Okay, it was.
Gotcha. It was down in Prairie du Chien.
Oh, that does ring a bell.
And it was strictly just on the Mississippi River.
Gotcha.
A couple years later, John Alaska in Minnesota won the World's Bid.
Yep.
And that was in Winona, which is right across the river from us here in Wisconsin.
Gotcha.
And that was also on the Mississippi River.
Cool.
So what I really like about this one here, Derrick, for Wisconsin is they included some inland rivers and lakes, along with Lake Michigan, where they didn't just keep it directly on the Mississippi River.
Sure. Yeah.
They opened that up.
Yep.
To some of the other smaller, bigger inland lakes and stuff. So that was kind of cool. I like that idea.
Yeah. Spread everybody out a little bit.
Yes. Yep. I really like that idea. I did make a couple of phone calls already.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Regarding
if they want to shoot next year.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
If they do get the bid.
Like people that you would shoot with if Wisconsin gets the bid. Okay, gotcha.
I called, of course, my good buddy Joe DeBagalki.
Sure. Yep.
Because he's retiring after this season also. This is it. But I said, if they get it, let's do one more.
Yep.
Let's do one more.
Yep.
And then I would really like to shoot again with Corey Brosman.
Sure.
We've been bow fishing for many, many years. And then to join us would be his son, Brody.
Oh, okay, sure. Yep. We were out with him earlier this year.
Yep. So I think that would – I've had some great times shooting in the directors' tournaments in Illinois with Corey.
Yep.
Just a lot of fun.
Sure.
And I would really like to get that little group together and just go do one more Worlds.
Yeah, that would be cool. Let me ask you this, Matt. This will be someone that you're very familiar with. Remember when Michael Jordan won 3 championships in a row and then he retired? He had that stint there where he retired, and then he came back. That make that situation times 10. That would be like what you would be coming back into the into the tournament circuit here. You should like that. That was not a bad comment about Michael Jordan, which you don't hear from me very often.
That would be kind of
That would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah.
Because years ago when you won Worlds, you got the payout. I think we got split like $1,500 that year between 4 of us.
Gotcha.
And then we got plaques.
Oh, okay.
Well, now the big thing is the belt buckles.
Yep. Championship belt.
That would be really cool to have hanging.
Yep. That would be awesome.
BAA Worlds belt buckle.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yep.
That would be really
cool.
I tell you what, Matt, we did touch on it a little bit. We're going to be talking with Grayson Padrick with Central Florida Trophy Hunts today on the phone. And he's got 20 years of experience hunting alligators. They offer private land hunts that are available year-round or public water hunts that run from August 15th through November 1st. I knew that you had a lot of experience alligator hunting, going down with your AMS gear to try to target one of these really once-in-a-lifetime critters here. This would just be fantastic.
Right.
I'm looking at our notes here. I did not realize that you had this much experience. Matt, can you run us through all the way back to 2008 onward? Can you run us through all those different trips that you've been on?
I'd love to, Schmitty, because it brings back so many really exciting and wonderful memories that I have from these trips. Different styles that each one of these outfitters, hunting-wise would have.
Yep.
I'll never forget 2008.
I was in 4th grade.
Jeff and Cindy, the owners of AMS Bowfishing, came up and said, "Hey, Mathew, we're going to be heading down to Florida. You need to film.
Gotcha.
We got 2 tags."
And this was when you were probably exclusively cameraman type of deal?
Yes.
Were you doing a lot of shooting at this point or not yet?
I was bow fishing on my own and stuff like that
gotcha.
there, but I was just a cameraman.
Gotcha.
All right?
Yep.
So we went down with Jeff Lasara, and we went out, and that was like my first time on an airboat, cruising around in the Florida swamps at nighttime.
It must have been such a vast difference from what you were used to.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just wild. Like a Jurassic Park type of setting.
We're out there at nighttime because back then they had certain hours compared to what it is nowadays.
Oh,
where you can shoot all day now down there.
So there used to be like time slots of when you could shoot.
Yes.
Okay.
So we went down there. It was strictly nighttime. And, you got these airboats, and they're super light because they drive over levees and dikes and stuff. So they're super light.
Yep.
No lights on them like your bow fishing boats.
Yeah.
Because what they used were these headlamps.
Okay.
And they had a dimmer on the side.
Oh, my gosh. Wow, okay.
So what they would do is he would cruise around, and he would be swiping the water left and right, and he had his light pretty low dimmed,
Yep.
And, of course, when it would come across an alligator, those eyes would glow red.
Yep.
And that's how you would identify them and see them and kind of gauge the size of them by how far apart their eyes were.
How creepy was it floating around the Florida swamps with only a headlamp lighting up all the critters at the night?
I'm not gonna lie. There was one. I think it was the second night. It started to rain.
Okay.
So we had to get our rain gear on and cover up the cameras and stuff.
Yep.
and we kind of, I just sat there, and it like downpoured.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sitting there in the swamp, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, man, if anybody ever wanted to get rid of me, there's no way anybody's going to find me out here.
Oh, my gosh. What a surreal feeling that must have been.
I'll end up alligator poo-poo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And it's kind of weird.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
There's nothing out there but swamp.
And I'm guessing there's not like a plethora of other boats out.
No. We never saw a single one.
Wow.
No.
That's crazy.
So it's a little different.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, I was sitting there going like, my gosh, anybody could pop me in the back of the head and throw me overboard.
Overboard you go. You'd be gone.
I'm gone.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's a weird thought to have run through the back of your head.
We saw tons of gators at first. Oh, my gosh. We saw tons of gators. And to watch Cindy shoot an alligator.
Yep.
No snatch hooks. You know, no harpoon. Just roll up on them and decide in split seconds before that gator goes down, do I want to shoot this one?
Sure.
You know? And then Jeff made a long shot compared to alligator hunting.
Sure.
You know, he made a darn good shot on the gator there, and they got 2 beautiful gators on that trip, and it was just a really neat experience that cool. I'll never forget. So my first time down there.
Let me ask you this, Matt: was there any kind of size limit that you had to abide by for these gators down there at this point? No.
They could shoot whatever they wanted.
Gotcha. It was just passing up a gator because you wanted to shoot a slightly bigger gator.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
And they got 2 beautiful. You know, I think they're both over 10 foot. I think.
Oh my gosh!
I think Jeff's tail might have been bitten off.
Oh. Wow.
By another gator, so it was a little shorter.
Wow, but it was a bigger gator.
Cindy's was a good one.
Wow.
It was a good one. I'll put a bunch of this footage up on our YouTube video for you to watch as you're listening along to this here. But
yeah, cool.
But yeah, that was a really neat experience. Had a lot of fun. Learned a lot. And it was very exciting.
Yeah.
Not even
you didn't even shoot a gator.
Right.
Yeah.
Not even having to just watching everything and seeing and the smells and everything, you know. I remember when Jeff shot his, of course, bang sticked it, and I'm up there in the front. That's when you had the big old camera back then, you know?
Yep.
And I'm recording that thing, and they pull it in the boat, and Jeff was on the back end as he was pulling from the head.
Okay.
So they're pulling it in, and they get it all the way in the airboat there, and Jeff is all the way to the back of the airboat, and there's not much room on there to maneuver until you get back to the cage and stuff, and you got nowhere to go.
Right. And
the gator starts crawling towards Jeff.
Oh, my gosh.
He's backing up. Yeah, it was after it's been bang sticked and all this stuff, you know. And they just are tough critters.
They're tough. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. So that was in 2008, Matt.
Yeah.
Let's jump forward. You also had a trip in 2012. How did that go?
Cindy and Jeff came up to us and said, we got 4 tags.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
We want you to go down and film with Timmy Boy.
Oh, yep.
I shouldn't even call him Timmy Boy anymore because he's a father now and stuff, but he's still Timmy Boy to me.
He's Timmy Man now. He's
Timmy Boy to me, though.
Which we've had Tim on the podcast. Yes. You guys remember we talked to Tim, so.
Yep. And they said that we want our 2 receptionists at that time, Trish and Kim, or Trish and Kelly.
Okay.
Kelly it was. We want them to go down also.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
So we had 4 gator tags in 4 nights that we had to try to film and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that was with Mitch Klein.
Okay.
Corey Brossman actually had bowfish with him in the past, and he hooked us up with Mitch Klein and stuff.
Yep.
And we went out and like 2 days. Actually, when we were flying in, you could still see the remnants of a hurricane that had just gone through there. And it actually made gator hunting really tough because they had a lot of rain.
Okay.
And a lot of the backwater got pushed up way into the swamps to where you can't get to, and that's where a lot of the gators were hanging out.
Yep.
So it made it a little tough. On that hunt there, we did use snatch hooks, and we did use bait on that hunt there.
Okay.
Because you couldn't pull those gators out of the back brushy, nasty areas that you couldn't even get an airboat into.
Right.
But what an exciting hunt. We had a great time. We had a pontoon. We had an airboat. And I shot a 10-footer.
Oh, wow.
Trish shot a 6-footer. It was actually a gator, a little bit of a nuisance gator because it hung around where they would come back in and flay fish, and it was hanging around right there by the campground. So they wanted us to get that one, and we actually got that one.
That's good.
Trish and Kelly both were using a crossbow
Okay.
with the Amos big game gear and stuff. And Kelly actually shot a giant 11-footer.
Oh my gosh.
It was I'll never forget the shot, Derrick. She literally was holding the crossbow at her hip in front of the airboat. And the gator comes up and she didn't shoulder it or not. She just went bonk.
Oh my
right from the hip.
No aiming, nothing. Just eyeballing it from the hip.
I don't even think it was eyeballing. I think it was just gator. Gator, there he is. And she just went pulled her bonk.
Oh my gosh.
And sticks it.
Oh my gosh.
Big gator, 11-footer. And then we got word that there was a giant in there.
Okay.
A big one. And we drove around during the daytime, and you could see kind of where they would come out of the brush into the
like a gator slide or whatever they call that.
You could see how wide they were by how wide the grass is spread open.
Sure.
Yep. We kind of figured this was the area where he lived. So we went out there and we threw some chum in the water and stuff, and we're sitting there in complete darkness in the pontoon, and no lights on, nothing,
dead quiet.
And literally, all of a sudden, after 40 minutes to an hour, you could start smelling gators.
What?
You could start smelling them.
Oh.
Yes. And Mitch said that this smell right here is a boar.
Okay.
Male.
Explain the smell to me, Matt.
Musty.
Okay.
Pungent.
Ooh.
Kind of like a buck's
tarsal glands. Okay.
He has that aroma to him.
Yep.
And we call him a snaggletooth once we got him in the boat there, but Tim got that 12-footer.
He was 12 feet. Okay.
Yeah, it's a giant.
Wow.
Like I said, all these trips have memories that I can remember. And I can remember pulling Tim's gator on the pontoon, and literally Tim started to cry.
Really? Wow.
He called his mom, and he got choked up.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yep. I remember Kelly getting very emotional and crying a little bit. You know, I remember all that stuff from those trips right there.
Yeah.
And I remember, man, I was so proud of Tim. You know, I was so proud. I had already shot my gator, and I really wanted Tim to get one because at that time he was a cameraman. He was always behind the camera.
So he kind of took your role. In 2008, you were the cameraman, and then in 2012, Tim kind of took your role and was the cameraman.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I was really proud of Tim on doing that there, and it was a really cool trip. We had a really cool picture of two of the big gators and all of us there with our Amos gear and our Amos equipment, and it was a really neat trip.
That's cool.
Really neat trip.
That's awesome. So out of the 4 tags that you had, Matt, how many of those tags did you fill?
All of them.
You filled all 4 in a 4-day trip.
Yep.
Wow, you guys were busy.
A 6-footer, a 10-footer, 11-footer, and a 12-footer.
Oh my gosh!
All on public waters.
That's crazy.
All on public waters.
And rolled film on every one of them.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. I do have one question about that, Matt.
Yeah.
Can you explain snatch hook? What is a snatch hook?
A big treble hook.
Okay.
A big treble hook. So, you know, the bigger the gators are, the smart. They play this game a lot.
Yep.
They get smart, just like a big old buck.
Yep.
So you might see that big old gator out there crossing the water, and as soon as you start rolling up on him,
he's gone.
Down he goes.
Gotcha.
So what they do is they take a big treble hook, big weighted treble hook on a fishing rod.
With probably just crazy pound test braid on it.
And you see that gator cruising across the water, and they cast over his back. Wow. Crank, and then you
set the hook on him. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Which was exciting. It was adrenaline and stuff. Not only are you fighting them on a rod and reel, but now you're going to shoot your compound bow and your equipment and stuff in it. So after we did that trip, I was like, I want to do something different. I don't want to use a snatch hook.
Sure, okay.
I don't want to use bait. I want to. The first thing in that gator is going to be my arrow.
Sure, okay.
That I shoot out of my bow.
Yep.
So then in 2013, I went down with Joe Minshew, and Gabe White.
Okay.
All right. They had a bunch of private ponds.
Oh, okay.
That we were allowed to hunt on. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of levees and waterway systems and flooded areas and ponds, big ponds and stuff. No boats.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
What we did is we drove around in a big swamp buggy.
Oh my gosh.
And then we would glass those from a distance. We would glass those ponds to see if there was
Wow.
What I wanted to do, Derrick, is I wanted to do a spot and stalk.
From shore.
We wanted to spot a gator that was up sunbathing.
Yeah.
And try to put a stalk on it.
Oh my
Try to get a
goodness. Okay.
Also, interesting story on Gabe White, Derrick.
Yeah.
He was a relief pitcher for the New York Yankees.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Super nice guy.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Well, that's cool.
Great guy. It was just a little story there on
So
that,
he probably like played with that was in 2013?
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter. I'm guessing those were like his teammates at the time.
I don't know baseball that.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, that's really
but
cool.
It was really
though.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Really nice guy. So we put on some stalks on some of these gators and stuff, and the really part that kind of freaked me out a little bit about that was if a gator is laying, on his belly out of the bank, his whole underside is sensitive sonar. He senses vibrations.
Okay, yeah.
So we had to be very quiet when we were trying these stalks here. I decided to take my boots off.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm walking in my socks.
Okay.
Well, I'm scanning always in front of me of where I need to go to get this gator. I'm not looking down at my feet. And I was like, man, I don't want to freaking step on a snake.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, are there snakes that could be a problem here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yep. So we put on about 3 to 4 stalks on gators. And I tell you what, I would just get through the brush and get closer and closer. All of a sudden, I wouldn't even see the gator, and I could hear him
really
head back in the water.
Okay.
So it was really tough. But the cool thing was about that, we found a 10-foot gator that was in the pond, and I just sat on the bank behind some brush, and you could see the gator out there. So I started,
oh my God.
And he would turn and look at our direction. And his whole body would come out of the water.
And you're making a baby gator noise, correct?
Yes. Yep. And he would start swimming towards us and stop and sink back down. And just his head was above the water. He's getting close, Derrick.
How close is he right now?
He's about 30 yards.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I got a bunch of grass and weeds in front of me.
Sure.
My legs are all numb from squatting
in
a position for so long. It's getting closer. Timmy Boy's on my right shoulder with the camera.
Yeah.
Whole body raises out of the water, starting to come at us. I'm like, holy cow. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. The gator got within 20 yards. All of a sudden, it just blows up and goes underwater. This big eruption of water. I'm like, what the heck? And I turned around and looked. Here, a bunch of cattle came running down to the pond.
Oh, my God. Oh,
yeah.
Heartbreaking.
Oh, big time.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you turned around and here Tim was doing something that spooked the gator.
Cattle came down to that
my
pond.
gosh, bad timing.
So we cleared all the cattle out of the area.
Oh, gosh.
Went back in there. That gator's still out there.
Okay.
All right. Now he's down to our right.
Okay.
All right. Gabe and Joe are on the other side of the pond, glassing and giving us hand signals and stuff.
Okay, of where that gator is.
The gator is.
Yeah.
He's coming again.
Wow. You must be a damn good caller.
He's coming down the bank now. He's about 15, 18 yards off the bank, swimming our direction.
Okay. So he's in the water yet, but much closer to the bank.
Coming from our right, heading to the left.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I look through the grass. Holy crap. He's here.
Mm-hmm.
He's here. Comes swimming by in front of us. I raise up a little bit and I draw. And I got all this grass in front of me and stuff.
Yep.
And I raise up above the grass. And I let her go. Big eruption of water. Holy cow. We just did this. It was awesome. Tim's over my shoulder.
Yep.
Gabe and those guys are watching from the other side. Big eruption of water. I stand up. I'm jacked up. And I'm waiting for my line to come out of my big game reel. Oh. And nothing's happening.
Oh.
So I start grabbing the line. I start pulling it back in. I missed him.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Yeah. I missed him.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. High, low, could you not tell?
Yeah, I can't remember, but I can't remember which it was, but I shot him. I think I shot high.
Okay.
I think I shot right over top of him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that from the get-go, having him come that close and the cattle screws up the hunt. And then to have that second chance, what an emotional roller coaster that must have been. Oh my gosh.
And I think what might have really played around on my shot was I was using a release, which I never do when I bowfish. I was using a release.
Yep.
And I don't know if that, I'm more of a snap shooter than I am a draw and hold and wait and shoot.
Right.
So I don't know if that hadn't affected it, but you talk about, that killed me.
Yeah, good Lord. That's a hell of a story. I mean, that's crazy.
It killed me.
Crazy. Good sized gator, too?
It was a nice, 10-foot, 9-10-footer.
That's crazy. Wow.
Mm-hmm. I did end up shooting one. I was like 7 foot on that trip.
Okay, gotcha.
We did end up getting one.
You got one? That's cool.
And it was really cool because I actually shot it from the swamp buggy.
Oh, wow.
I shot down to the pond and got him.
That's cool.
And you can see the float taking off across the water and stuff.
Yep.
So then me, Tim, and Joe get in this little 15-foot rowboat.
Okay.
Because the gator went to the other side, so now we go to the other side. And then we're all pulling on the line and stuff, and this gator's pulling us around this little 15-foot
in a rowboat.
Timmy boy's back there with the camera and
stuff. Wow.
It was pretty cool.
Wow. That's awesome. That sounds like a heck of a trip. That's cool. So we've gone over 2008, 2012, 2013, heck of a story there. 7 years later now in 2020, Matt, let's talk about when you and Billy Lawson went down.
So we're talking about all these different styles of hunts that we're doing on these trips right now. So when I met Billy at the ATA show in 2019, or actually it was 2020.
Yep. January of 2020.
Yep. Billy showed me some footage of them. Now you can start hunting earlier in the afternoon.
Okay, so that time change from 2013 to 2020. That changed a little bit.
Somewhere in there. I don't know the exact date, but yes.
Yep.
Now they're allowed to hunt a little bit earlier before you get out there.
Okay.
So now they start using electronics to call in gators.
Oh, okay, sure.
All right. He showed me footage of them doing this, and I was like, wow. They got a big Bluetooth speaker up there. They're playing the baby gator sounds, and these gators are coming through the grass, and they're coming right alongside the boat and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I got to do this. It was cool. So I went down there with Billy and Orlando Gator Hunts, Randy Dumars, who we've had on the podcast.
Yep.
And we did some calling the first night. Nothing really happened. It reminds me so much of turkey hunting, running and gunning for turkey.
Okay, sure. Yep.
Call set up. Finally, you get one to respond, and he comes in, and there's your action.
Yep.
The second night, we went and set up in a canal. We had 2 airboats. Cameraman stayed way back. Another camera guy was with us in our airboat. And we made a call, and a gator swam across the canal about 150 yards down the canal.
Okay.
We felt that we were too exposed with the airboat and everything because we didn't have a lot of brush around us.
Sure.
So we slid across the other side and got tucked into a bunch of higher grass.
Yep.
All right, and set up in the grass. Hit the calls. Here comes this gator. It was a different one.
Oh, okay.
There was 2 gators on here. This was a different one. It's coming from, 100 yards away.
Oh, wow.
And it's swimming right at us.
And it's
coming.
daytime that you're doing this, correct?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
Footage is amazing on this. It's awesome. That gator came to us and got within about 7 yards before I shot him.
Oh, my gosh, really?
He coming right in at us. Yep. And I'll never forget that gator. When he's coming in, he actually turns his head and kind of like looks at us in the airboat. Like, what's that? Yeah. And that's when I
really
released,
wow, that's cool.
And the fight was so cool right alongside the boat there. He's twisting and rolling and coming out of the water, and the arrows are just bending from hitting the the bolts.
Oh, that's the one. I think you've told me that footage. The arrow looks like a noodle.
Oh yeah,
it gets bent, but it stays intact.
Oh yeah,
it held strong.
Yep.
That's cool. So let me ask you this, Matt, just from someone I've never done it. I've never shot a gator before. Is there a certain area that you're aiming to try to hit that gator?
I remember them saying hit him anywhere besides on top of his face area.
Noggin, right in the noggin. You want to avoid that.
And avoid the scoots on their back because it's like armor.
Gotcha.
So, armpit area, below the scoots and stuff on their belly.
Yeah.
Those softer spots. But I tell you what, Derrick, that was a great trip. Phenomenal. We got some awesome footage and stuff. Exciting and stuff. But then we went back in 2022.
Yep, 2 years later.
Same Billy.
Same setup.
Orlando Gator Hunts.
Yep.
This time we had Jana Waller.
Oh, nice.
And we had Alyssa, and Wendy.
Yes, that's right.
Receptionist here.
Yep.
All right, so we had 4 tags.
Yep.
And like I said, I know they always say don't shoot a gator in the back, or that's what they were telling us anyways.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Jana Waller shot one at nighttime. We were running and gunning. A lot of excitement on that. It's on Carbon TV if you want to watch the episode.
Sure. Yep.
But then we took out Wendy and Alyssa, and something that they have never done before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I remember we were just outside of Orlando, and we started calling in the morning for Wendy, and we had gators coming to us. It was so cool watching them come from so far away. And she ended up getting a smaller gator, and that's the one where I fell off. I was trying to get a backup shot.
Oh, my gosh,
I stepped right off the...
You fell into the water with a gator right there by the boat.
I pretty much fell on the gator's tail.
What is up with you falling in the water? You've been making a habit of that lately.
I'm getting old, Schmitty. I don't know my whereabouts anymore like I used to.
Yep. That's funny. That's funny.
And I remember Wendy, she was just shaking and stuff, and oh my gosh, and it was really exciting. And then we went after one for Alyssa. And that was really cool because a gator comes up a canal and swims literally to the front of the airboat. And Alyssa's sitting next to me, and we're all like, walk up slowly. He's going to be sitting right there, draw back and shoot.
Oh.
She stands up, and she's a lefty.
Yep.
Well, she's a southpaw, So she gets up there, walks to the front of the boat. I can't see because, the airboats have that nose on to plow. They have that big to plow open the grass and stuff. I can't see what she's seeing. And I see her draw back, and boom, she shoots right in front of the boat. And the water erupts, and we ended up getting that gator, and it was she shot that gator right in the top of the back.
Oh, okay.
And I tell you what, we got footage of. You had to cut those big game points out of there that we make here, because once you get it under that height, it's not coming out.
Yeah,
But she shot a dandy 9.5-foot gator and stuff, and
that's awesome.
That's awesome. So the cool thing is all these hunts have different styles of a strategy to them.
Yep.
A different style of how they go about trying to get you on gators.
Different ways to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It's exciting. I just saw a video that Tim Wells posted of a guy sitting in a tree stand.
Oh my gosh.
In the swamp.
Really?
He's got bait down in the water below him.
Yep.
And a gator comes swimming through. He's got one of the old Timmy's
harpoons. Oh, sure.
And he harpoons that gator as it comes swimming underneath him in that tree stand.
Wow.
Cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
I would actually love to live where it's a lot closer to where you can do this on your own.
Instead of the total opposite south end of the country. Yeah, that's cool.
But just so that's one thing I'm excited to talk with Grayson on. What strategies do they use? How successful are they?
Yep.
So it's going to be a good podcast when Grayson joins us.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, Matt, we just recapped 5 different trips that you've been on. Like you said, all different types of strategies. Grayson is going to be able to offer even more insight than what we're telling you guys right now. I think we should give him a call right after this commercial break.
Sounds good.
Efficiency Bowfishing Lights by Outdoor Innovations USA. A color tone adjustable and dimmable light with a unique patented reflector design that puts more light where you need it. Efficiency Bowfishing Lights offer 3 different models: the 65-watt single-color economy light, the 65-watt Efficiency V2 tricolor dimmable light for maximum efficiency and versatility, and the 130-watt Efficiency Maximus, designed to be an all-out beast of a bowfishing light. Efficiency, designed and built by bowfishermen for bowfishermen. Check them out at OutdoorInnovationsUSA.com. Are you looking to elevate your bowfishing brand with stunning design solutions? Look no further than N Designs. Their team of talented designers is dedicated to bringing your vision to life. Whether it's t-shirts, hats, leather products, eye-catching logos, to captivating boat wraps, they have you covered. Plus, with their commitment to excellence and attention to detail, you can trust that your project is in good hands. Don't settle for ordinary. Choose N Designs for extraordinary results. Visit their website today and let's bring your ideas to life. N Designs, where creativity meets excellence.
And welcome back to the Bowfishing Buzz. All right, Schmitty, we have got Grayson on from Central Florida Trophy Hunts.
Yes, sir.
Grayson, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
He's got excitement in his voice because he's going gator hunting.
Oh, my gosh. You can just feel the vibes through the microphone here. He's an excited fellow right now.
Grayson?
Exactly.
Yes, that's awesome. So, Grayson, where are you guys located at down there? And, how long have you been doing this outfitting for gators?
So we started Central Florida Trophy Hunts in 2000.
Oh, wow.
Incorporated in 2003. Started as a side gig, just to do a few gator hunts so my wife could stay home. Actually, and not a whole lot of people know this. My degree is actually in mechanical engineering. I worked on the shuttle program.
Okay.
Wow.
That's an awesome little side note.
That is really cool. So, just a quick little note on that, Grayson. When I was down there in 2012, we were hunting with Mitch Klein, and we saw, when we were on the water that night, we saw something take off. Maybe you had something to do with that.
Yeah, in 12, probably. If it was a shuttle, so our group did all of the installations of the payload at the pad. So, anything that was done at the pad, as far as payload installation, we did. We were payload mechanical engineering.
Wow.
That's cool.
So, as far as my engineering career, flew out shuttle, went all the way to the end of shuttle. Left shuttle, went to Lockheed Martin with the Fleet Ballistic Missile Program. I was design engineer for those guys. I did about 14 months with them and decided that, I was going to try to do this full time. I mean, at that point, we were probably maybe 2018-ish, something like that.
Okay.
Seems like, I keep saying it's 3 years ago, but I look back, I'm like, yeah, it wasn't 3 years ago. So,
wow, that's really interesting.
It is.
Cool.
Yeah.
10 or 12.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep.
Go from working on the shuttle to chasing gators.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
cool
and I mean, like I said, it was a side thing, and then it got busy. We did the hunts at first, and then we started building a little bit of gator hunting equipment, and travel around and doing all the shows, and then we opened the processing facility up in 2008.
Okay.
And that kind of grew and exploded, and here we are today. So
wow. That's very cool. So, Grayson, for myself and our listeners, can you just kind of break down your two styles of alligator hunts that you offer, the private versus public waters?
Sure. So, and the public season just opened, opens in Florida August 15th, runs through November 8th. And it's changed a bunch since I've been in the game. I mean, I've been doing it a long time.
Yep.
I wasn't really doing it when they had the 15, but they did 15, and they did 6, and they did 5, then it went to 2. And when it went to 2 is when I really, that's when my level of expertise, if you will, went up quite a bit. That first year, it was first come, first serve. Gators were bringing really good money from just selling gators. We didn't even own a processing facility then. So I killed 236 gators that year on the public hunt.
Wow.
And so you learn a lot. Mindy, who runs a processing side of the house, she probably killed about 160 or 180 with me that year. So just in that year, she's killed more alligators than some people ever kill in their entire lives.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Grayson, you mentioned those numbers there from 15 down to 2. What were you referencing for those numbers? You broke up on us just a little bit there.
Yeah. So, so what the state lottery has changed over the last multiple years. Originally, when it first came out, when they first got into the whole program, it was 15 alligators. It was a 5-week season.
Okay,
then it went, yes, sir. Then it went to 6, I believe, and then it went to 5. And still only a 5-week season. Each person who got drawn had a single week to hunt, and then they had a makeup week.
Okay. So they're putting stress on you.
Yeah. I was younger then, so a little easier on the body.
Sure.
And the timing was different as well. Originally when it started out, it was half hour before sunset to a half hour after sunup.
Okay.
5 p.m. to 10 a.m. And just last year they went 24/7 hunting.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay. Cool. That's very cool.
Yep. And then, as we were talking, so like you said, we do 2 different style of hunts. We have a public land hunt and we have a private land hunt. private land, we have a hunting preserve that we do some on. We also have the largest landowner in the state under contract.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yes, sir. So now, with that being said, we only do large alligators there. And what I mean by that is, we do our trophy gator hunts there, and we do that there because we also pick up alligator eggs. And that's become kind of popular throughout the state in that a lot of landowners don't want you harvesting the smaller gators because they could be your egg-bearing females.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we can do a whole nother podcast on egg collection. That's
Really?
that's a big thing. I mean, we picked up 14,000 eggs this year. We're all over the state going crazy for about 3 weeks. It's long days. I don't know if it's maybe fun for the first nest, and after that it's just work. It's in the middle of July, so it's warm.
Oh.
We're in the most nasty places in the swamps that you can be, and sometimes dealing with a very unhappy mama.
I was just going to ask you that. How many mad mothers have you encountered?
Plenty.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that whole thing? So I've also done the public waters, like they have a public waters hunt. They have a public waters egg collection. I've also done that.
Okay.
I did that for a couple of years, and great learning experience. I've run an airboat my entire life. I mean, I've been in an airboat since I was 2. I've run one since I was probably 14. I learned more in those 17 days about, really where I can go and where I can't go,
sure.
and how to get unstuck than I ever did previous to that.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you're going to pick the worst places you could ever imagine, places that normal airboaters are like, yeah, I'm never going there. And that's where we go every day, 30 or 40 times a day.
Wow.
So,
Good Lord.
So what you're doing is you're collecting the eggs and then taking them to a hatchery, I'm guessing?
correct. Yes, sir. They're transferred to we actually have an alligator farm, but they're transferred to some larger farms. One in state and one actually goes out of state in the state of Georgia. And then we, they go to the farms and go from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that those gators have a better, I'm sure a lot of the gators get eaten that are in the wild by your bigger males.
Yeah.
So do these gators here get a little bit better chance? Do they let them grow a little bit longer before they release them back into the wild?
Oh, no. So they're not releasing anything back into the wild.
Oh,
so
okay.
Back up and give you the whole business model there. All of your big brands. So just to back up a second. So generally speaking, alligators do not propagate in captivity.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So, yes. So if you are, let's say you are Hermes and you need alligator skins for your Birkin bag.
Yep.
Those skins are going to come from their farm. And they,
gotcha.
Hermes is a big buyer of skins. You've got Gucci, the Carrying Group, you've got some other ones.
Okay.
And so that's where these skins are ultimately going to. Generally speaking, they're a 2 or a 3-year-old alligator.
Okay.
That's as far as they grow in the farms. And it's based on what particularly the fashion houses are looking for as to how big the gator farmers are going to grow them. If they're looking for handbags, say they may grow 2-year-old gators. If they're looking for bigger bags, that may be 3.
Okay.
I don't know if it's $1 billion industry, but if it's not, it's right there knocking on that door.
Wow, that's cool. Okay.
So it's there's things going there. Louisiana has to release a certain percentage of their hatchlings back in the wild. Florida does not.
Okay, sure.
Yep.
And you still have.
We have
a
tremendous population.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yep.
Your population is just crazy down there. I mean, I can remember back in 2008 when I was under my first time and we would shine our lights across the water. It was just red eyes everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. That was crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have an opinion on that. I mean, like I said, I've been doing it a long time. I do not believe that that the population is declining by any means. Now, what we are seeing from a hunting perspective and from a processing perspective is a decline in the larger animals.
Okay.
And I truly believe that here's what it simply boils down to. It takes a very long time for an alligator to grow to be 12 foot. Minimum, my opinion, based on some reports and some studies by biologists that I've read, that's going to be a 16 to 18-year-old gator,
Wow.
absolute best case scenario.
Wow.
So, in today's world, past 9, 10, 11 foot to get to 12 foot, so.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's some cool stuff.
Yeah, that's good info right there.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So Grayson, you get a client that comes down there with you. Does he need to get different license for the public hunts versus the private hunts?
So, kind of depends on what package they do with us. And I'm speaking just with us.
Yep.
But we handle the licensing, for everybody. What I try to tell everybody with us, and we're pretty vertically integrated here, is that we are a show up, shoot, and pay. That's all they have to do.
Okay, nice.
And people ask me all the time. They're like, "Well, what do we need?" And I say a positive attitude and a killer instinct.
There you go.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
And I said that so many times when I got my offshore boat. Talking about names for it. So the name of my offshore boat is actually Killer Instinct.
Oh, that's a cool name. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's really it. So generally speaking, now if we do what we call a preserve hunt, which is at our high fence, you would get a little different license, but they're the same price. You need an agent's license one way or the other.
Okay.
And public or private, it's the same agent's license. Anybody in the entire world can get one. We have hunters that come in all across the entire world. Canada, Europe, you name it, they've been here. Australia.
Wow.
We actually have a world map in our office with pins of people, from around. And
that's cool.
So yeah, same license. And then, where we're hunting, private land is generally going to be a rifle hunt.
Oh.
With sometimes we'll do a little bit of, we've had a lot of bow hunters this year. So, we've done some stuff where we're using y'all's reel and bow fishing style with the slip tips, or on the private land, if we can find a gator in the right pond. I actually had 4 different guys come do a true bow hunt, which was a nightmare from our side of the house, because a lot of sitting and waiting, which is not normally how I gator hunt. Patience is not my virtue. But we would actually almost like set up a blind on a pond, watch the gator come up. He's got to come up in the right range. And then these guys full on with the bow. No, to snatch hooking them first. No, nothing, straight bow.
Yep. That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
Yeah. It was a very cool hunt. Glad we got it done for the guys. Glad it was done. And, but yeah, so generally speaking, those are rifle. We've had that instance happen. Sometimes we catch them on a rod and reel, and then pull them up to the bank, and you can shoot them or bang stick them. Or I have a lot of guys who will rope the gator, pull him up there, hold his mouth, jump on him. They'll cut his knife with a spine. I mean,
good God.
Yeah.
Wow.
The things I tell everybody, 2 things are, you got to go quick and you've signed the waiver, so you're good to go.
Okay. Gotcha. Yep. So Grayson, with that being said, before we gave you a call here, Matt was talking about all the different tactics that he has used on his past gator hunts. What tactics do you use on your hunts? You kind of ran through some there, and which one would you say works the best?
Well, so let's talk public land, because that's what most people are used to seeing, used to doing. And it's, and I'm an old school guy just because I started doing it a long time before some of the things were available. For example, when I first started, you could not bait.
Okay.
So baiting has become excessively popular. I would say 90% of our big alligators that come in are caught on baits.
Okay.
And that number may be higher. And I'm kind of an anti-bait guy, a purist, if you will. But that's also, again, I like to gator hunt because I like to cover ground, cover the marsh, and look at alligators. I don't want to sit there and float a bait. It's just not my idea of alligator hunting. And I've not done a whole lot of it, so I've never even tried to do it. Like I can honestly say for now, commercial gator hunting, a whole different ballgame, but for doing a public hunt with a client, I have never floated a bait ever to a gator.
Okay. Gotcha.
I can tell you how to do it roughly, but once we get past if we're there for more than 5 minutes, I'm cranking my airboat up. We're going somewhere.
Sure.
You're itchy. Yep.
Yeah. So primarily, I like to hunt at night. I've started hunting a little bit more during the day, mainly because if you hunt all night and then try to get up and function during the day, it's a little rough on the body.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I still do most of my hunts are at night. It's area specific. And what we're doing, we're covering ground. We're shooting a lot of crossbow stuff right now. So in my boat, we have multiple harpoons, multiple bang sticks, rod and reels with snatch hooks. And then my client will always sit in front of me with a crossbow. We're set up with an AMS, the big game reel with the slot in it.
Yep.
We're shooting a Raven, so we actually make our own crossbow bolts. They're all slip tip style, and kind of go from there.
Gotcha. It sounds the thing I've done the baiting thing down there. I've done the snatch hook thing down there, and what really was exciting to me was I sat on the bank one time and just waited for one to swim by me on the bank, and that was really exciting.
Yeah.
But we've also done what we called a couple years ago with Randy Dumars was it was a cowboy style, where we were up on pad running and gunning. And that sounds kind of like what you like to do too, is get up there and run and gun for these gators.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. Way back when I first started, that's kind of how everybody gator hunted,
Yes.
So to back up, selling alligator hunting equipment. I kind of how I got in that whole business again. I was doing a few hunts. An FWC guy, he was a biologist. He ran the nuisance alligator program, Lindsay Horde. He called me and said, "Hey, you're an engineer. Carl Godwin was selling some gator hunting equipment. He made $5,000 or $7,000 a year selling gator hunting equipment at these shows. You ought to consider doing it." He just moved out of town, and there's really, there's one other guy on the West Coast doing it, and that's it. And so I went to center that were machine shop guys, went to those guys, said, "Hey man, can you guys make this and this?" They owned their own machine shops, a couple of them. And so we started building bang stick. We started, kind of designing those, build a good bang stick. We started making harpoon points. We started building harpoons. Coming from a space center background, stainless is everything out there. So everything we did, we made stainless harpoons and points and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was what everybody did. We would go to a seminar, and the state they had seminars around the state to kind of walk people through gator hunting. And we would take bang sticks, we would take harpoons, and that was pretty much it. And, a good show we'd sell, and extra points. We'd sell 15 harpoons and 15 bang sticks and a bunch of extra points. Yep. And then my dad talked me into bringing some snatch hooks to one, because nobody could get snatch hooks at any of these. Nobody sold them at the seminars. Oh. They were nowhere to be seen. And so I started taking, the first one I went to was in Okeechobee. I had 20 with me. I sold all 20 of them before it even started.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. So then we started selling more and more snatch hooks, and then we started making a few different sizes, and then I was personally in guiding started getting into the crossbow stuff, and I started getting into it because I love to run and gun. Me personally, if I was gator hunting by myself or just with people and just going to kill alligators, and it was like it used to be, and I mean that there wasn't as much hunting pressure on them all the time. Running gun's the way to go. To me, it's just the most fun. I'll run by an alligator full plane, running 25, 30 mile an hour, throw the harpoon at him as I go by, and I'm running the boat, and all of that. And we still do it sometimes if the client's not objected to it, or they've missed 20 times. There's a whole variety of things. But the problem with that is that was great when there was a lot of alligators and you had multiple opportunities at big alligators. As that started to go away, generally speaking, you just cannot put a person on the bow of your boat and they throw a harpoon and hit an alligator, So the crossbow added an extra element where people could do that a little bit better. We first started with a scope, and then we went to a laser. And as we started doing the crossbow stuff, then we kind of moved over to selling, the various equipment for crossbows, bows, that kind of thing. And then eventually, when they started allowing baiting, we started selling some of that stuff too.
Okay.
I mean, hands down, today our most popular item we sell is pre-baited pegs for baiting.
Okay,
we'll sell two 55-gallon drums of pre-baited pegs.
Oh my gosh!
And we'll. I can find the longest to do it with.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, that is neat.
You've
neat.
come a long ways since you first got into it.
Yeah.
And you've kind of like been
constantly evolving.
Like a pioneer,
yeah.
You know?
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah. You definitely have to evolve. The sport has changed a lot. The people that are doing it has changed a lot. Obviously, anytime you bring a show into anything, i.e. swamp people, that changed it and brought a different level of people wanting to do it. But, it's definitely changed. I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse, but it's changed. I mean, that being said, we've never been as busy as we currently are, but we also spend more money advertising. We have more guides and the whole 9 yards. So
sounds like quite the operation.
Yeah,
there for
very
gator
cool.
hunting.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yep.
So Grayson, say I wanted to come down there and go after. I want a monster gator. All right. Are we going to probably do that on private property? And what would that hunt be like?
So, it depends. I'm going to give you my spiel that I give to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
We have certain tags for public land that are going to be better than others. And I have a large group of people that put in for the public tags. If they get drawn, I pay for everything. They go with us and we take people on those hunts.
Okay.
And on that hunt, and I'm big into paperwork. Minnie does an amazing job of handling the office and the processing side of the house. She also does all the booking for us for all of our guides, as well as, we've kind of come into the new century. We send DocuSigns for a waiver. We send DocuSigns for a contract. Yep. So, a guy comes in and books a hunt with us. He's got a written contract that says, hey, this is what you can expect. This is what you need to bring. This is all your costs associated. And they know what to expect and all that. We've gotten away from the, hey, yeah, we're going to take you, be here at such and such, bring cash. That way everybody feels more comfortable. And that's a really good thing, because I can't tell you how many people who have had really bad experiences by what other people have told them. But what I tell people on the public land hunt is this: we have some great tags. We should have on those tags, we should have the opportunity to kill something 10 plus.
Nice.
However, it's a public hunt, and it's still a hunt. No matter how good I am or how good you are, things can go wrong. The arrow can break. The hook can break. A boat can come by and run him off. I mean, there's 100 different things.
Right.
Same thing with private land. I mean, private land, I think, gives you a little better opportunity. However, it's still, we're hunting out there. We do 50 to 60 hunts out there a year, maybe a few more. There's one other gentleman who has some rights out there. So, that's 80 big gators, and it's big. The piece that we hunt on is 210,000 acres.
Wow.
But there's a lot of cow pasture and stuff like that. But it's seasonal too. Sometimes I had a large group come down last year. They came in October. We killed 8 gators over 9 foot in a half a day. As good as it could get, including a big 11, a gator that should have been 12 that was bobtail, that he was 11, multiple 10s, multiple 9s.
Nice.
We hunted 3 different properties, one at my high fence, another piece of private property that is, it's fully free range. We killed, I think, 6 or 7 there. We killed 18 alligators total. We only killed 2 of them at my high fence. Everything else was all 100% free range.
Wow.
So,
that's wild.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it just kind of depends. The nice thing about the private land is we have the time to study them. We can look at that gator with a pair of binos and be like, yep, I think that's the right one. Nope, I don't think that's the right one. But also we can hunt in, November, we can hunt December, January, February. We can hunt the entire year, but those cooler months, it's also very pleasant just to be, just going to riding around one of the prettiest ranches, in my opinion, in the entire U.S. is an awesome experience as well. And we have free range to go, wherever, as long as we don't inconvenience their lease hunters or their cows, but we obviously are respectful of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Some people really, really want to do the public hunt. Some people really want to do the private land hunt. I will tell you, you can kill a bigger gator on public land for cheaper than you can on private.
Okay.
And this year we were really, really fortunate. We had a great tag draw. So we have, I expect some people will come on the public land hunt and kill a 12, and we may have multiple 12s.
Wow. That's cool. It's a big gator.
As a side note, myself and my other main guide, we always have an annual bet on who kills the biggest alligator. So,
Cool. Nice little pot to win if you get that, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing crazy, but it quite honestly, it could be for $1. It has zero to do with the money and everything to do with who killed the bigger alligator.
Yep. So that being said, Grayson, in the 20+ year history of Central Florida trophy hunts, what is the biggest gator a client of yours has boated?
13.4.
13.4. Holy cow! Do you remember what year that was?
No.
No. Okay.
Quite honestly, no. We've killed 2. We've killed 2. Both of them measured 13.4. And those were both on private land. My biggest public land gator, I've killed multiple 12.9s. And I killed one 12-pin that I tried my damnedest to make him 13 and just couldn't do it. Every year we're going to kill a 12 somewhere, do I think we're going to kill multiples every year? Usually I'll kill one and my other guide will kill one. Sometimes I'll kill 2 and he'll kill 2 or 3. It just kind of depends. But like I said, that 12-foot gator is getting harder and harder to find.
Sure.
And that's one thing, when the first year they allowed baiting, maybe the second year, we saw, I want to say we saw probably 3 or 4 13s, 5 13s that year in the public hunt.
Wow.
The next year we didn't see any. Now it's a rarity. I think we've seen a 113 in the last maybe 4 years, something like that, 5 years. Yep. And to put that in perspective from a processing side of the house, I'm talking across the board. Through our processing facility, we run about 3,000 alligators a year through the facility.
Wow.
And then, on the public hunt, we're running 1,200 usually, which if you do the math is about 15 to 18%, depending upon, annually what gets harvested in the public hunt. So that's kind of what's coming to our facility. And if you think about that, so we're seeing 1 every 5 years. The number of 13s is starting to dwindle.
Wow.
They still kill a couple a year. I think there's they killed a couple down in Okeechobee this year already, I've heard. The other bad thing, unfortunately, I can't tell you how many people on Facebook have said we killed a 13 tonight, and the gator comes to our facility, and he's a big 12, which is truly amazing alligator. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a 13.
Yep.
Right. So big 12.6 is not 13. That 12.10, by 99% of the people they'd advertise that gator's a 13 all day long, but he wasn't.
Right. So, right. Earlier, Grayson, I was telling Derrick about one of our hunts where we did have some bait floating out in the water, and we were sitting out there in the pontoon, no lights on, nothing. It was dark out, and I said, all of a sudden you could start to smell gator, and Derrick kind of looked at me like, "What? Really? You can smell them? You can smell them, correct?"
Yeah, absolutely. So now keep in mind, so everything you just said, I'm like, ugh.
I know.
To put it in perspective, and I run what to me is a really big boat. To most captains is a small boat. To guys who airboat a lot, who are kind of old school from down south. You mentioned Mitch Klein; it would be kind of a bigger boat for Mitch. And I run a 14-foot long, 8-foot wide Diamondback boat.
Okay.
We just built another one, and we went car motor, which drove some people crazy. I was a diehard aircraft guy, but what happened for us is more and more people started wanting to go, and we just got into a weight issue where, I could only carry 2 people plus me.
Yep.
You put 2 11s in a boat, and you put 2 500-pound 11s in a boat, and I was running a 13-foot long boat. So we upgraded, went to what I call a big party barge, went to 14-foot.
Okay.
But I'm running a 442 cubic inch LS in it now. kicking out about 700 horsepower. So
Wow.
sitting still, we don't do a lot of, and the reason I say that is so you don't smell them as much when you're doing that.
Yep.
But that being said, I've had some instances, and normally we see a phenomenon where there's been a fish kill off or the fish wad up in a particular area and the gators move in. And I mean, when it happens, it's like you've hit the holy grail. It's like, man, tonight's going to be a great night. You're going to kill 2 10 or 11s in 20 minutes. I mean, it's just insane.
Wow.
And I've had that situation where you get into a canal and you're like, good Lord, it smells like an alligator. And there's, next thing you know, there's 100 alligators in front of you.
Oh my God. Wow.
We had that instance where I had a guy on the bow of my boat. And I remember it very well for 2 reasons. One, and they had told me ahead of time, they said, hey, this guy's a larger gentleman and he only has one leg. So I built a special seat to accommodate him. And I'm like, well, he can't be that big. And they said he weighed 375 without his leg, which is a lot to sit on the bow of your airboat,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was running a 12.5-foot airboat, and we got in the canal, and at one point we had 3 Big Tens swimming in front of us, and I've got the boat shut off, and we're floating, and they're swimming, and I mean, 5 yards, and we're having a whole full conversation about which one we think is the biggest gator, which one he should shoot. So, and it was like, I'm like, well, they're like, so which one to shoot? I'm like, man, I don't really know. They all look kind of close. Which one do you think's the biggest? I'm like, I don't know. I asked the guy behind me, like, hey, which one do you think's the biggest? I don't know. And I'm like, all right, pick the middle one and shoot that one. I mean, and it's just, when that phenomenon happens, it's insane. Haven't seen it in a little while. Look forward to seeing it again. But
oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Jeez, that is really that's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Grayson, once your client is successful, the hunt is done, they got their gator, you take care of their meat and stuff for them right away. And what if they want to get some boots made or something like that, Grayson?
Yeah. So what we found, back to the processing side, and that's, like I said, kind of Mindy's side of the house, but she really wanted to open a processing facility in 2008. Just to give you a little history on that, 2008, the market collapsed. With every market that collapsed, the alligator skin market collapsed as well. And a lot of processors went out of business. And we were talking about it, and we're like, I think we can do this just as good as anybody else, if not better. So we started the processing facility then. And originally her idea was that we were going to take and find a leather maker, find a boot maker, have a taxidermist pick up, handle everything for our clients who wanted that to be done. So when they came in, they did a hunt. They didn't have to worry about going to find all that difference. They didn't have to take it to the taxidermist. Most people don't want to deal with that.
Yep.
And she said, well, hey, let's offer that to everybody. I'm like, man, that's a ton of paperwork and that's a lot to handle. And she's like, yeah, we'll be okay. And, now we have a, fully staffed office with multiple people in the office and all of that. And so that's what we do. And that's for anybody. You could be, I think when you guys hunted with Randy brought you guys over, you dropped your alligator off.
Right.
Taxidermist picks up from us every week. We go to the tannery usually twice or 4 times a year, 2 to 4 times a year, depending upon the load. We'll take the hide down there. You'll pick your color. We can get it tanned for you. You don't have to deal with tannery. We pick it back up. We have a leather maker. She'll send out a full PDF package on, hey, this is all the different products we can do. If you wanted to order a pair of boots, they're 100% custom. You pick the stitching, the toe, the heel, color of the uppers, the pulls, you name it.
Yeah.
Full alligator, lowers, uppers. Now the only thing that we send that out. We also do skulls in-house. We actually do the beetle skulls. We do not boil them or anything like that. We're up to 17 beetle colonies now.
Oh my God!
We have a whole 12 by 30 shed that is just for doing skulls. We do 200 to 300 a year, something like that.
Wow.
And we think excessively labor intensive. I don't do any of that. I don't mess with that. I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of labor. They're expensive. They're the same price as getting a regular head mount is what we charge on them. But it's a really, really wonderful product. Doing the beetles really makes the skulls come out nice. So we can, we can do everything. Like I said, all everybody has to do is they just come and show up and have a great time. And then we'll handle everything from them. Or on the flip side, I've gone the other way. I've also had clients that have come and done the hunt and said, hey, we're driving back to Pennsylvania. I'm a taxidermist. I want to load this gator in the back of my truck and take him with me. And,
Nice.
and we've done that. They've stopped. I send them to the fish house. They get ice. They roll him up in a tarp and drive back. Interesting note, that taxidermist called me the next day and said, next time I come down, I will never do that again.
I bet. Wow.
But that
He
smells.
said, we will let you handle it from here on out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you guys got you got it all set up.
The whole 9 yards there. That's cool.
No messing around there.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So, Grayson, you've been doing this for 20 years. You've got to have one crazy story that sticks out. Can you tell it to us?
It's interesting. I don't necessarily, coming from a Space Center background, like safety is I'm a huge, huge safety guy. I don't know if I was thinking about that when we talked about this. What's my crazy story? And I don't have anything that's absolutely it's like, oh my God, it's insane. I mean, we've had some, young people to old people. I get the most excited about the hunts that I do when somebody gets really fired up about it.
Cool. Yeah.
Had one of those scenarios happen where I was talking about where a canal got loaded down with gators. Gentleman was probably in his mid to late 70s, and he shot an alligator with the bow. And I mean, when it stuck, he literally jumped up and down on my bow like he was 10 years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
70-year-old jumping up and down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've, I've taken a lot of people and, we've been doing it long enough. I mean, I have a gentleman he's only done private land, but he started taking his kids when they turned 9. It was a rite of passage.
Oh.
He had 5 children and it was great for us because when the next child turned 9, the older one could come in and kill, he didn't have a limit. We'd kill whatever we could kill. And he's hunted with me every which way possible. And, his oldest child, I think now is 22 or something like that.
Wow.
The youngest one's like 18. So yeah, I mean, I've got to see over the years this whole family grow up.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
I
neat.
took a gentleman who hunted with me who's, we had been trying to kill this gator and actually had some same clients I took last night had missed the gator. And I went up there with him. He killed the gator. He had actually fallen in almost on top of a gator years before that.
Huh.
We always laughed and joked. He tried to harpoon the gator and literally, he's standing on the bow, tried to harpoon the gator and fell almost out of the boat. I had to jump down and grab him, pull him back in.
Gosh.
Wow.
And we get this gator killed, and his wife leaned down, and she's like, thank you so much. It's the best thing ever. This will be his last hunt. And
Wow.
he actually passed away like a month after that. Or something.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was kind of an honor for me to, his kind of his last hurrah and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we've done a lot of awesome things. We're fortunate. We haven't had any big mishaps, knock on wood, but we try really, really hard to make sure that we don't, I said, we want everybody to have a good time. We want everybody to have a great experience, but we want everybody to come home safe too.
Sure, absolutely. Grayson, what's funny here is I'm actually sitting across the desk from somebody who once fell on top of an alligator on a gator hunt. He had a little slip on the deck, and in the water he went.
It wasn't even a slip. I just was trying to get a backup shot into the gator, and I just literally stepped right off the side of the airboat because I was trying to find them down in the grass and stuff.
Yep.
And I just literally stepped right off the boat.
So I have had a handful of guys fall in before. One time we had a gator on, the gator came off, and we were switching boats. We had a big group, so we had multiple boats, and he just missed the step, fell in, panicked, and we grabbed him, pulled him right back out. Another guy, he had an auto inflate on. Generally, I make my guys wear whoever the hunter is, I make them wear auto inflate. And so he shoots the alligator. I see the gator with crossbow. I see the gator pull out a line, take off. I mean, I know the gator's way away from us. And he does that. He set the crossbow down and literally like that same thing, just stepped backwards off the boat.
Yep.
And the funny part is he hit the water, hit his feet, came back in the boat, and he's standing there and his buddy's laughing. And then he got in the boat so fast, the auto inflate went off in the boat. And
man.
Yeah,
That's
and his buddy
funny.
laughed at him forever about that. So,
that is quick.
That is. He's quick.
Yeah,
Wow.
That is quick.
yeah. He was walking on water, and the closest incident personally I've ever, hands down, the most dangerous things we do is alligator eggs. I mean, there's no comparison in gator hunting to gator eggs. Mainly because a lot of what we do, we find them with a helicopter. You get dropped in on the nest with the helicopter.
Oh, wow.
The chopper pilot that we use he's been doing it for 30 plus years. We're flying a Jet Ranger. He can put a skid on the side of a floating tusset and let you out.
Wow.
And, my son is one of the guys who picks up eggs. And the first time he did it, he's like, "You really want me to get out?" He's like, "Yeah, time's money, get out."
Wow.
And kicked him out. And then you carry a paint roller stick because you can make them short when you're in the helicopter, but when you get out, you can extend them out.
Oh, yep.
And I can tell how bad the gators are by how many paint sticks we go through on a daily basis.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because you're by yourself on that deal. It's again, time is money there, and he's just hopscotch and dropping people out and picking them back up. So,
Wow.
That's
but
crazy.
Talk about it.
that 1210 we
Adrenaline.
killed. We hooked him again with a big rod, shot him with a crossbow, and I flipped a big hook on him, and he went to take off. This gator's huge. He's 500 plus pounds.
Oh.
I actually had the rope get wrapped around my thumb, and I thought, and it was like everything just slowed down, and I'm like, man, this is it. This is, I've heard of people getting their hands pulled off and stuff. This is going to be my time. And I'm like, well, do I jump in and go and see if I can get it unwrapped as I bail in behind him, or what? He was 10 feet in front of me, and then I was pulling on. About the time it pulled off of my thumb, and I'm like, "Whew, thank God."
Wow.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Did
that could have been
dislocate my
bad.
thumb a little bit. Yeah, but I was okay. Finished the hunt and killed the gator, and it was a great story afterwarlike
Wow.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
cool.
That's a little
so we
spooky.
learn from those things. We're we, like I said, we try really hard, but like I said, a lot of kids. Take a lot of kids had their first experience.
That's all cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's all really
Yep.
cool stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So Grayson, not only gator hunts, but you guys also offer different critter hunts as well. What do you got down there?
Correct. Yes, sir. So we've got P4 Ranch, 246 acre high fence. We do a few whitetails annually, kind of not our mainstay. Our mainstay is hogs. Out there, we run probably 1,000 plus hog hunts a year.
Wow.
For the hogs, we can do dogs, we can do spot and stalk, we do have a big swamp buggy.
Cool.
Pretty much have every type of way you can do a hog. As far as hunting, we can do that. We also have Pierre David, we have black bucks, we have Asian water buffalo, we have axis deer,
Jeez.
and then the last thing we do out there, we also do tower shoots, if you guys are familiar with those. That's the European tower shoots where you shoot pheasants. It's a shoot, not a hunt, but they get thrown out of a tower. There's 28 shooters. It's a cool experience.
Wow.
So a bird hunt.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yep.
European tower shoot. Yeah,
Okay.
let's not use the word hunt. And people get a little bit angry about the hunt terminology on there. It is definitely not a hunt. If you've never seen it, look it up.
Okay.
There's a couple of even YouTube videos. Dark Sizzle did one for us, I think, where she came out and shot. But it's like sporting clays, only with live birds.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
right.
a lot of fun. It's a catered event. It's just a good time, something to do. We try to run them January through March, so it's cooler. Hands down, my favorite part of the whole thing is watching the dogs work. We bring in 6 dog handlers that run there. Usually they're field trial dogs. They love it. It's a great symbiotic relationship. We've got some just amazing dogs there, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
And you also, if you know the group, and even if I don't, I usually heckle them if they miss.
There you go.
You got to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gotta do
I'm like,
that.
man, if you got a bird at 30 yards and you just flat whiff on him, I'm going to give you a little bit
Absolutely.
Yep. That sounds pretty cool. Grayson, how can people find out and contact you there at Central Florida Trophy Hunts?
So we have a Facebook, Central Florida Trophy Hunts, our website, centralfloridatrophyhunts.com, Instagram, that all of those will have our phone number. You can call the office. You'll usually speak with Mindy or Madison. they'll get you hooked up, and we can get them on a hunt.
That's awesome.
Good
I mean,
deal.
it sounds like
You got it down pat.
a top-notch
Yeah.
service is what you guys offer.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys know what you're doing. You've been doing it long enough to where you know how to make your clients happy. It sounds like you guys don't mess around. You guys are on top of things down there, and you know how to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
sir. Yep, we try very hard. So
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Grayson, I know you have clients again this afternoon and this evening and stuff, so we're going to let you get back to work down there. And, man, we just want to thank you for taking the time and joining us here in the Bow Fishing Buzz and talking about some gator hunts that you guys do down there. That's awesome. Thank you for that.
absolutely, thank you guys so much for having me on, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that'd be a good time. We need to
Appreciate
come
it,
down there.
Grayson. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Just a little note here, Matt.
Yes, sir, Schmitty.
So early in that interview, first off, amazing information. I had no idea about the gator egg collecting system that they have going on down there.
Either. No.
And I think it's hilarious. Not hilarious. It's hilarious, but also kind of crazy that they can tell how many eggs that they're going to collect based off of how many times a gator rips their painter's pole apart. That's wild. But he said earlier that he was in the shuttle program doing that kind of stuff. That's very cool. And then just as a side gig, he decided that he would just go start hunting gators. My side gig is mowing my aunt's lawn. Not hunting alligators, for God's
Toothy
sake.
critters.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Lizards.
That's cool that started as a little side hobby for him. And now, obviously, from what we just heard, he's got the whole system from step one all the way through the end of whatever you want to get it, as far as processing or taxidermy. He's got it all covered.
It's a neat setup they have down there.
Yeah, that's really cool. That was a very informative interview.
Yep. Because when we shot our gators with Randy Dumars and Orlando Gator hunts, you know it's 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning. You don't have to wait for them to open up.
Oh,
to take
sure,
your gator there.
yes.
What they do is they have refrigerated trailers throughout the area.
Yep.
And you can go there. On the outside of the trailer is a box that has paperwork in there.
Yep.
You write down all your information with your gator tag on and everything on there.
Yep.
What you want done, the meat, if you want any taxidermy work, put it in that trailer, and they make rounds every couple days and pick them up and take them back and take care of that for you.
Perfect.
All of a sudden, bloop, one day you'll get the call saying your stuff is done.
That's slicker than
ready
snot
to ship
right
it
there.
out.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, they
that's
got
cool.
it down pat.
Yeah. Yep.
From
awesome.
that to I met Mindy at the little shop right there where she'd take care of all the paperwork. Right down to Grayson here and their other guides. They do sound like they do one heck of a job.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely does. That was very cool.
Top
Glad
notch.
we could get a hold of Grayson today, Matt. That was a really cool interview there.
Yep.
We do have a couple other things we're going to rifle through here.
Yep.
I think it is time for...
Can you feel the tension in the air right now?
It's time for BAA Records.
Good deal. Congratulations to Steve Colbrine on his BAA Maryland State and World Record sea lamprey weighing in at 1.64 pounds. Nice shooting, Steve.
How about Lane Webster with the new BAA Washington State Record Common Carp weighing in at a hefty 50 pounds?
Oofda. That's a tank. Very cool.
Big common.
Congrats to Cozy Jones with his BAA Louisiana State Record white bass weighing in at 1.6 pounds.
Next, we've got Taylor Kirkland on his BAA South Carolina State Record needlefish weighing in at 0.20 pounds.
Great guy here, Todd Downs, Megamouth Pro Staff. Congrats to Todd on his BAA Idaho State Record Crucian Carp weighing in at 3.8 pounds.
Yeah.
Nice shooting to Todd there. Very cool. Very
right.
cool.
I printed this off, Derrick, from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission here.
Okay.
A list of some of the largest gators that have ever been recorded down there.
Okay.
All right. Coming in at number 1, 14 foot, 3.5-inch gator.
Oh, my God. Wow. 14 feet long. That's like...
Weighed in at 654 pounds. Shot on Lake Washington, wherever that is.
How much did it weigh?
654.
Wow.
November 1st of 2010.
Oh, wow. Okay. November.
Coming in number 2 here, we've got 14-1.
Okay.
No weight on that. Shot September 1st, 2013. Here's a couple that I wanted to get to you here, Derrick. Coming down to number 5,
Okay.
we've got a 13 and 11 1/4
Wow.
gator.
Yep.
Weighed in at 880 pounds.
What?
Yeah.
That must have been like could that have been like when he talked about a bobtail where it was, it should have been longer, but its tail got eaten off or chopped off or something?
I'm guessing that guy just ate some.
Holy, I mean, he's 200 pounds heavier than the big one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was shot September 19th, 2001.
Oh.
How about this one, Schmitty? Coming in at number 6, 13, 10 and a half. 1,043 pounds.
Oh. That's 5 of me.
Yeah, April 17th of 1989.
Wow. Good Lord.
Another one here at 870, 13-footers. Oh,
There's some big critters.
some big gators.
Good Lord.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, I tell you what, Matt, I think you're a little excited about our next segment here. You got a little something that you have not exposed me to in the notes here.
It is time for...
I'm curious what this one's going to be.
All right.
Get ready for Fish That You Wish.
This fish comes to us out of the state that is home to Archie, the largest mammal fossil in the world. Archie was 15 and a half feet tall, 25 feet long, and weighed in at an incredible 7 tons. And roamed the Cornhusker State during the Ice Age 30,000 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking Nebraska, Schmitty.
Okay. Yep.
This fish was shot by Jarrett Brunning May 7th, 2020, with a length of 55 inches. This grass carp tipped the scales at an even 70 pounds.
Wow. Tank.
Yep. And that is a fish you wish you shot.
70-pound grassy.
Yeah.
Wow, what a stud.
But how about Archie?
Archie, that is.
How about Archie?
That's nice digging that you did there. I like your little. You always have a little, teaser of what state it's going to come out of. That was nice. That was nice. Little Archie there. Absolutely.
Largest mammoth fossil.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In the world.
A couple of the things here I just want to run through, Matt, before we wrap the podcast up here. It is crazy to me. We're sitting on an hour and 33 minutes, and it feels like we've been recording for maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's just wild to me. One thing that we're going to start doing here, guys, with the season kind of, we've got big game season going on here. The bow fishing season kind of does take a little bit of a dip here going into the fall. There's definitely opportunities out there for you guys to get out and shoot fish. Matt, you and I know from experience, some of the biggest fish that we've shot and witnessed have been in this fall time frame. But, the tournaments start winding down. Everything we're doing is a little bit less here as far as getting out in the water. So we're gonna bump the podcast down to roughly one a month. Today's the 27th of August, so that's perfectly. We're going to do one in September, one in October, November, December, January, February, March, and then once April hits, we'll ramp back up to our bi-weekly, schedule that we're doing now. Just want to give you guys a little bit of a warning for that once you guys aren't looking for that podcast bi-weekly here. Something else here too, just with. We had Grayson on at the perfect time because big game season is here. It's ramping up right now.
Yeah.
We're seeing orders for big game equipment. Obviously they're flying out the door. Just a reminder to you guys, if you guys are looking to do one of these once in a lifetime hunts, we've got everything that you need as far as big game. We're talking reels, crossbow setups, bolts, arrows, floats, spare line, everything that you guys would need for a big game hunt to go down here. Grayson obviously has his own gear he's having to use, but we've got all that equipment available in stock. If you order it today, it's going to ship out most likely tomorrow. So just don't forget to check out all of our big game gear that we have available on the AMS website or at your local AMS dealer as well.
Right on, Schmitty. Right on. And with that, Schmitty, gonna be wrapping up episode 89.
Yes, sir.
The Bow Fishing Buzz.
Huge thanks to Grayson. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Brought to you by AMS Bow Fishing and
Megamouth Bow Fishing as well. Sponsored by Efficiency Bow Fishing Lights by Outdoor Innovations and Designs Leatherwork and Embroidery.
Yes. For your in this, Schmitty, grass carp in the wild can consume from 25 to 100% of their body weight per day, depending on the size of the fish, type of vegetation, and water temperature.
Wow, that's how I eat sometimes.
By eating such huge quantities of plants, grass carp are significantly alter habitat by reducing food sources, shelter, and spawning areas for native fish.
They're bad news.
Also, because they can only digest about half of the plant material that they consume each day. The remaining material is expelled into the water, enriching it with nutrients which promote algae blooms.
Oh, think of that the next time you swim.
Bubblegum grass carp.
Oh my goodness, what a way to wrap it up. Absolutely.
So from all of us here at AMS Bow Fishing, mine is Mathew.
My name's Schmitty.
Over across we got D. Schmitty,
yes, sir,
who is single.
Oh God.
Ladies in the house, Schmitty's single.
Oh, boy.
Megan with Bow Fishing. We wish you the best of luck. Remember, aim low,
think big. Thanks for listening, guys.